Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Maya. Today I'm going to be showing you my eyebrow routine, how I groom and fill in my brows. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and let's get into the video. I want to apologize for my brows not being entirely in the frame. I didn't realize how zoomed up my camera was until after I recorded, but you know, you live and you learn. So I'm using the spoolie brush to brush my brow hairs upward so I can measure how long I want them to be. I'm using the front of my brows as a guide because I did groom my eyebrows a little bit earlier in the week, and so the front of my brows haven't grown completely back, so I'm just going to use that. Then I'm going to use a pair of hair scissors to cut the hairs to the length that I want them to be. I'm not going to cut any hairs that are past the arch of my brow because I want the tail of my brow to be a little darker than the rest of my brow, so those hairs are going to be longer and therefore making the tail of the brow more darker. Now I'm going to take my tweezers, which I'm looking for right now actually, and I'm going to tweeze the hairs that are outside of the borders that I've created. You may not be able to see it on camera, but there are in fact hairs that are outside of the boundaries. To fill in my brows, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. eyebrow kit in the shade Deep. This was $2 from the e.l.f. store. And I'm going to take the gel on a angled brush that I actually got from AliExpress in a set. I'll put a link in the description of the set I bought if you want to go check it out. I'm going to start by outlining my brows with this gel. And I'm going to start with the tail because I want most of the product I'm using to be at the tail of my brows because I want the tail of my brow to be the darkest. I'm outlining my brow first because I want to create the shape that I want. By the time I get to the front of my brow, I should have less product than I did when I was doing the tail of my brow so that the front of my brow will be lighter. If you would like to bring out the front of your brow farther or the tail of your brow farther, you can do so. I'm going for a more natural look, so I'm going to keep it relatively close to what my natural brow shape looks like. Now I'm going to go in and fill my brow. I'm going to start off with the tail so that it's darker than the rest of my brow. I'm going to be using more pressure when filling in the tail of my brow because I want that to be the darkest area. As I move to the front of my brow, I'm going to flatten out the brush and use lighter strokes so that it creates a gradient effect and the front of my brow is lighter. And now I'm going to repeat these steps with my other brow. To set my brows, I'm now going to be using the powder, and I'm going to be using the brush that came with the kit. I'm going to apply the powder using stroking motions, starting from the tail of my brow and working my way forward. As I reach the front of the brow, I'm going to lighten my stroke so that the powder comes out lighter. And now I'm going to do the same with the other brow. So using the same angled brush as before, I'm going to clean up my brows using the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer in the shade Medium. This was $3 from the e.l.f. store. I'm going to take off some product from the applicator, and I'm going to use this to line the bottom of my brow. This is when you can clean up any mistakes that you might have made when filling in or outlining your brows. Now I'm going to use the brush to pull down the concealer to soften out the line. Then I'm going to use my finger to blend out the rest of the concealer. So my camera did not get the footage of me doing the top of my brow, which is why I have eyeliner on because I just finished filming another video. I had come back to refilm this part. So to outline the top of your brows, you're going to do the same thing you did with the bottom of your brow, just on the top. And once again, this is the time to clean up any mistakes you might have made. Once again, I'm going to use the brush to soften out the line, and then I'm going to use my finger to blend out the rest. And then I'm going to do the same with the other brow.
If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more. If you're feeling generous, click the bell icon so you can get notifications whenever I post. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general discontent, leave them down in the comment section and I'll be sure to read them and reply to them. Make sure to share this video with anyone who needs makeup ideas, makeup help, or is just a makeupaholic like me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.